guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to be doing my September wrap-up. I don't know about you guys, but September started out for me weather-wise cool and looking like it was going to be fall, and now it's back to being about 85 degrees, which for here is fairly warm. I'm a little mad because now I'm like, okay fall, I wasn't ready for you before at the end of August, but now I want you because it's October almost, and I want to wear sweaters and stuff, so I need the weather to make up its mind. So back to the books. I read 8 books in September, and my reading month mood-wise kind of went from like up here to down here to up again. So could be worse, right? The first book I read was The Goddess Test by Aimee Carter. This is a book in a trilogy. There's 3 books and then a novella bind-up, and I absolutely loved this book. So this is a Greek mythology book because I was on a Greek mythology kick last month and then I continued it into this month. So it is about a girl named Kate who is a teenage girl. Her mother is dying of cancer, I believe it is, and her last dying wish is to go back to her hometown where Kate has never been. So they travel back to her hometown and weird things start happening, and I'm not going to tell you all of that, but basically Kate has to take part in this test to see if she can become the goddess of the underworld, so basically the new Persephone. I loved this book. I love Greek mythology. It's a nice, short, quick read, and I just found all of the gods and the mythology and kind of twisting it and taking kind of a modern twist on it, and just a differing twist so wonderful. Also, the way they described the underworld in here was really, really interesting, and I'm going to do a full review once I get the rest of the books in the series and can just marathon through them. I'll do a series review for this because I really, really enjoyed this book. Sadly, the next book that I need is still on its way in the mail before I can marathon through them. I got the last book already and the novella series, but I haven't gotten the one that I need to continue, so after that I will continue this and marathon through hopefully in October. But anyway, 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I picked up was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I'm sure you've heard about this. It has been all over BookTube. The 3rd book just came out and everyone is kind of hyped up about it, so I decided to pick this up finally. It is a story about Selena. She is an assassin and she gets taken out of this prisoner of war camp in order to become the king's assassin in a kind of like Hunger Games-esque environment. So this is an awesome fantasy series. I gave this 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it, but it's kind of a foundational book for me. There were things that weren't as fleshed out as I would like them to be, but I really enjoyed Selena as a character. I'm interested to get back to her. She's very, very interesting. And then the 2 love interests, I really, really enjoyed. I have a favorite, because I always have a favorite. But both of the men in this story are very, very swoon-worthy. So if you enjoy assassins, if you enjoy love triangles, if you enjoy fantasy, I would pick this series up. I am very interested based on the hints we got in this book as to what is going to happen in the future series, and I'm really looking forward to it. The next book I picked up was Every Day by David Levithan. I've actually already done a full review on this, so I will post that right here. It is spoiler-free, so you can go and check that out on my full thoughts, but I only gave this about a 3 stars. I just didn't enjoy it like I thought I was going to. It is a contemporary novel about a person, genderless, named A, who wakes up in a different life every day, basically wakes up in different bodies. Any kind of body. As long as they're 16 years old, around his age, I always say he, it doesn't matter, it's genderless, but around his age, and he lives their life for a day and then wakes up in a different life. Well, one day he gets into one life and he falls in love with that person's girlfriend, and things kind of go from there. So I would check out my full review on this. I thought the writing was beautiful, but the story just didn't really live up to my expectations. So I'm interested to read more by David Levithan because I really, really enjoyed the writing, but this book just fell a little short for me. Since all of these books have kind of fantastical elements, after that I kind of wanted a bit of a break, so I picked up the Luxe by Godberson. This is the first book in this series. I believe there's 4 or 5 of them. So this is described as historical fiction Gossip Girl, and that description could not be more accurate. So my relationship with Gossip Girl as a TV show is that I sort of hate it, but I sort of love it and can't stop watching. So that is kind of how I feel about this. Like, I didn't think the story was super original. It's, you know, it's like I said, historical fiction Gossip Girl. You need no other explanation. But a lot of the characters are very annoying. Most of the characters I didn't really even like. Like, I can't even think of one character that really stuck out as somebody that I really, really liked. So that's, again, how I feel about Gossip Girl. But it was a nice break. It was very fluffy. It was a pretty quick read. I kept having to pick it up even though I was annoyed with it. So if you like Gossip Girl, you'll love this. If you like historical fiction and very like dramatic historical fiction, this is something that you will enjoy. I gave this about 3 stars, and I will pick up the rest of the books in the series in the future and read through them when I need kind of a fluffy break like this. The next book I picked up was The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman. I also have a full review on this, so you can go check that out. It was for Banned Books Week because this is a banned book. It is the first book in the His Dark Materials series. This is about a young girl named Lyra, and in her universe, which is a parallel universe to ours, everybody has a demon or an animal translation of their soul, kind of like a spirit animal, but it's outside of their body, everyone can see it, it talks to you, these kinds of things. So in this story, little kids her age are being kidnapped and used for some kind of nefarious purpose, so she kind of goes on an adventure in order to stop this from happening because one of her friends gets taken and everything kind of whirlwinds from there. So there's a whole bunch of characters you run into. It's very fantastical, very, very different. If you want to hear more about this, I would check out my review. I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. So after The Golden Compass, I read Cress by Marissa Meyer. This is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles series. I loved it. There was a bit of a slow point in it. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there was a bit of a slow point at the beginning, but once I got past that part, I loved every second of it. I really, really enjoy these books. These books just keep getting better in my opinion. This book actually drew tears from my eyes. That happened. So I'm really looking forward to the next book. I wasn't going to pick up the novella that's coming out this year, but now I am. And then I have to wait a whole nother year for the last book, Winter, to come out, and I am devastated. So if you guys haven't started this series yet, you really need to. 5 out of 5 stars. Excellent. This is a chunky book, and I got through it in maybe a day, day and a half, so it is excellent. I would definitely recommend picking these up as soon as possible. So here is where my reading for the month took a giant uptick and got to the high point of the month, and that is with The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This book is amazing. I have already filmed a review and a gush video on this, which means that I love it. 5 out of 5 stars. This is a fantasy book, the first in the series. Again, I'm kind of having a theme with that this month. The first in the series, and it is about a girl, Leah, who runs away because she's going to be married off, because she's a princess, and she's going to be married off to a prince who she's never met, and she doesn't want to. She wants to live her own life and be independent, so she runs away. An assassin from a different country is sent after her to kill her, and the prince goes after her. She is blissfully unaware of this, and we as readers don't know who's who. The telling of the story is very interesting because it's told mostly in Leah's perspective, but the chapters that aren't in her perspective are in the 2 men's perspective. And some of the chapters are labeled with their names that they give to Leah, and some of them are labeled with either the assassin or the prince, so you really don't know who's who and what's what. Besides the love triangle situation, there are so many secrets, so many things happening, but it was a really, really fun, beautifully written book and a very great foundation book, as well as a book that can stand on its own 2 feet. I've already said a lot of this in my review, so check that out. I will post that here once it is posted. It's going up on Monday, so today is Wednesday, it's going up this Monday. I would check that out if you are all interested, but in the meantime, if this book is sitting on your shelf, go read it. It is amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about it. One of the top 3 books that I have read so far this year, for sure. The last book that I picked up this month is How to Love by Katie Cotugno. So this I wasn't really sure about after reading The Kiss of Deception and being on such a reading high from that. I wanted to pick up another contemporary book because I wanted kind of a break because I couldn't jump into another fantasy after The Kiss of Deception, otherwise I'd be judging it so hard. So I decided to pick up this. This is what I would consider a darker contemporary. This book takes place in 2 different timelines, so it takes place before and after. It is about our main character, Serena. When we first meet her, it is after, and she has about an 18-month-old baby, 2-year-old baby, and you find out that she used to be in love in the before with her neighbor growing up named Sawyer, and they had this very tumultuous relationship. A lot of things happened. I'm obviously not going to reveal that. She was pregnant, he left, was gone for 2 years, and then the after, he came back. So it's kind of this, can you learn to love somebody again? Can you forgive people? All these kinds of things. This deals with a ton of different themes: teen pregnancy, drugs, loss, family, grieving, friendships, everything. So if you really do like a lot of like more serious things in your contemporary, I would consider picking this up. I gave this about a 3 stars. I had some problems with it. I'm going to be doing a full review on this, so once that is posted, again, I will post that here. But I did have some problems with it, but I couldn't put it down. I read it in a day. I did really enjoy it, and I think it tackled a lot of these serious issues very gracefully and in a way that it didn't get boring and didn't feel like you were being preached to at all. So I would definitely consider it. The love story is definitely one that you're going to either love or hate. I have particularly had problems with it, but you might enjoy it. So if you like the contemporary bad boy, then I would give this a shot. Alright guys, that is it for my wrap up, but I also wanted to tag onto this my TBR. I'm going to be participating in RYBSAT, I believe is the abbreviation for it. I heard about it on Lainey's channel, Ginger Reads Lainey, and it was started by Miranda of Books 101. It is a readathon where you basically read from your shelf, so you pick a spot on your shelf and you read every book just straight over. You can skip books if you've already read them, but you basically read straight over and see how many that you can get through in that week. It is from the 1st to the 7th. So Lainey said that this is one of her favorite readathons to participate in. I am interested to participate in this because I feel like I want to read a lot of books in October. I don't know why, I just feel like I want to, kind of like every month. So I'm going to be showing you my TBR spot really quickly. So I'm going to be starting on this section of my shelf. I have already read this book, so I'm going to be starting here with the girl who circumnavigated fairyland in a ship of her own making and going over. So after that I'll be reading Struck, and then Blood Red Road, and then Mystic City. Hopefully I get here, and then if I get here, going over to the Brides of Rockwell Island. All these things I've done. The Lost Girl, I doubt I will get through that many books, so I don't even know why I'm showing those, but I'm hoping to get through a lot of these, especially because these are shorter books, and we'll see how it goes. So wish me luck, guys. So that was it for my TBR for RYBSAT, as well as my wrap-up for September. Let me know down below if you're going to be participating in the readathon, and also what your favorite book that you read this month. Also, if you follow me on Twitter, I am always posting about what I'm currently reading, so you can catch up with me there and follow along while I read some of these favorite books that I just absolutely flail over, and you can definitely tell when a favorite is popping up on Twitter because I tweet about it much more often than any other book. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!